Eric Mwathe with Mwathe.com. Here are the two charts that you had sent me via email. And the question you're asking is what happens on this weekly chart. So this is a weekly chart. If the RSI can hold above this prior resistance zone. Now that the stock has come to the same level and we seem to be above it, if it can bounce on that blue line, does that indicate that more than likely there's a push higher in price? So that's the first question. And the other question is now on this daily chart, where the question is on the daily RSI, since the RSI has been bouncing on the 50, since here, which corresponds with that price level, and here, which corresponds with that price level, and again here, which corresponds with that low, if the market is bouncing on the 50 on the daily right now, does that indicate that somewhere around here the stock could be a buy for a bounce, or at the very least if it breaks out in the coming weeks? So I'll go ahead and discuss those points in the following charts. And so if we take a look at my charts, we'll see here that the line you had drawn on your weekly chart was somewhere around here during this break. And that break was responsible for the stock to move from here in the $24, $23, $25 area all the way to about $2. So that's a very critical level in the stock. The one thing that bothers me here is you can see this is almost a perfect dome-like reversal. So the line is doing a perfect uniformity action right now, moving above that blue line. Something like that. If this remains the case, this is a major sell signal because it's come back to a critical level where the stock had failed previously. So we have to be careful here with our long idea. If the stock can break out above this weekly closing high and the price there is 5.63, if it can break out above that level, then that is where personally I would consider that a buy signal, if it can break out above that, because that would also suggest that at the very least it is above the blue line. Otherwise buying it here would be risky because you don't know whether it's coiling above that blue line and back below it with uniform action as it is doing, which would be a red flag by itself. Let's take a look at the daily. And the daily is okay. Again, I would take this basically from that weekly chart, because if you go against the weekly chart, there might be a problem. So there's an entry here on the daily, which is somewhere during this price move at $3, and you draw a simple line like that. The stock needs to be above that green line with uniform action for this to be a buy. There is also another line connecting the lows. This low, and this low. So if you wanted to buy 100 shares, I don't think there's anything wrong with buying maybe 30 shares here, but the big trade should come in when it moves above 5.63 on the weekly. That's where I would use that weekly more as my default because of that sell signal line. Take a look at the hourly. And the hourly, we see that this is where the move began, and the RSI did move above this level. So on the hourly, I would say it looks okay. As you can see, the stock has come back since this nice entry. Stock has come back to find support on the line during this pullback, also during this uniform activity on the RSI during this pullback, and now we've held that line. So hourly is okay. My biggest problem with this stock is that the RSI is trading below 38.2, which just means that it needs to do a lot of work to correct this. The best stocks tend to be trading above 50 and above 61.8 and above 69.10. So the best moving stocks generally already have their monthly RSI above 50 or pushing above 61.8 or above 69.10. So to conclude, the biggest threat to this stock is this prior break here on this line. If this ends up looking like this, that's a sell signal, because the last time it failed there, the stock did drop significantly. So I would wait for a breakout again above 5.63. At least that would take care of this potential sell signal here. Eric Mwathe, good luck, peace, and blessings. Woo!